We are back here at the Call of Duty Championships Asia Pacific Regional Final presented by Xbox. I'm in Maniac and I'm here in an electric atmosphere. We're at the grand final of Mindfreak versus Exile5 T1. I am once again with the captains. It's deja vu for us as we're up here meeting once again. I just wanted to touch base with these guys and see where their heads are at going into the grand final. Obviously, Mindfreak with the advantage going into this one. They did take out Exile5 in a 3-0 fashion. So we'll start things off once again with you, Issei. How do you feel going into this grand final, into the series we see previously affect you going into it?
The game against Mindfreak, I think our heads weren't screwed on 100%, but the integral game was good. We started communicating a lot better, so hopefully it's a better series, but MF played really, really well that series before, so they're looking really good. But to come back, I think it's 6 maps to come back, so we've got a long road.
And do you think that 3-0 sweep, obviously, of Integral we just saw, is that what you needed to switch you guys back on and carry that momentum into this game?
Yeah, I think so. I think our shots are just a lot better, our communication's a lot better, we're just in the right mindset. I mean, if you did listen in with us before, like we probably weren't talking at all when we were versing Mindfreak, so I'm expecting the boys to do a lot better.
Cool. So Issei's saying that he's probably going to try and flip things up a little bit. Now, as I just did say, you guys from Mindfreak did win in the series against Exile5 previously. 3-0, fairly convincingly, especially in that first game we saw on the hard point. It was like 250 to 60 something, I do believe. Has anything changed since that series for you, Buzzo?
No, not really. You know, we're just keeping our heads screwed on tight and just trying to finish the thing. No, to be honest, we were playing the first half when I sort of took my head out and stepped back, and I was actually scared listening to our comms during the game because I've never heard anything like it before. We were keen for the win. So,
how important is it for you to take out the grand final? Both of you guys obviously already have your ticket to the World Champs. Does taking out the grand final really have that extra meaning for you guys?
Well, I'm not losing 2 years in a row. So,
obviously, we did see the guys from Exile5 T1, formerly known as Dotters, take it out last year. So Buzzo reckons he's not losing 2 in a row. Got any final thoughts on that?
I'll give him a crack, Buzz.
Give him a crack. All right, guys, so we're going to be jumping straight into this grand final. Once again, we do have Exile5 T1 up against Mindfreak, and to take us into the action, I'm going to hand it over to our casters. We have Bioacid and Mikester.
Thank you, Maniac, and yes, it is grand final time, live from Sydney, Australia, and sometimes Mikester, I swear, Buzzin looks like he's getting set for an MMA match, the way he's standing up there, he's ready to go, he's pumped, and of course, doesn't want to lose 2 times in a row, year to year. But at the same time, Issei wants that. He wants the year-to-year win. Yeah,
well, yeah, you got to think about it. 2013, Mindfreak, previously known as Unity back then, were the region's champions. 2014, it was T1. It's a grudge match to see who will have that most region title, I guess you say. It is a grudge match. It's a huge rivalry between these two teams. And Mindfreak, I mean, we already saw how they played against T1 earlier.
Of course, 8 teams did start here this morning at 10:30 when matches did get underway, and right now we're down to the final 2, like you guys all know at home. It is Plantronics Mindfreak up against Exile5 T1, and you can tweet in to get your votes counted at ACL Pro, one of those keywords. You got GFT1 or GFMF in regards to that, and you can vote for whichever team you think will take out this series. Now remember, it is a continuation series. It's going to come into play right now, so we will be seeing Mindfreak up 3-0 in this series and need 3 more to close it out. But of course, again, last year it was the same situation. Yep. T1 were down, and they came back out of the losers bracket, fought their way through, took it to a second best out of 5 in the grand final, won that, and then defeated Mindfreak.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting situation because if X5 T1 can actually come back, then we're going to have some interesting matches ahead. Whereas Mindfreak, as a continuation series, they only need 3 maps. But we've seen T1 do it, whether it was last year at the Call of Duty Championships, whether it was at other LAN events throughout. They've done these comebacks before. They know the situation that they need to, they know what they need to do. And I'm confident that they can actually make something happen.
And we have seen their latest pickup, obviously Fate, who is in there for this team, replacing Dens, who's now on Mindfreak. He's been playing amazingly all day long as well. Like I said earlier, his first game of the day up on Mainstay was only 40 kills in that game, and they couldn't believe what was happening. And just like that, T1 do take over that pole. They are starting to come away, and you do see on your screens the T1 team, Fate, Chileans, Issei, and Damage making up that lineup. It's going to be a Detroit uplink we're kicking things off from. So we will be continuing with that original rotation that was happening earlier during that first best out of 5 series. So it will be Detroit uplink, followed by a Terrace S&D, to finish the first 2, and then we'll change over to the rest of these rotations as well. But right now, you know what the map is, you know what the teams are, Mikester. I just want a prediction in this one game, not the whole series, one game.
I think that X5 need this map, so they'll be able to take out this map. I think they're backed up against the fence. They're 3-0 down.
Yep.
They need to make something happen, and I think they will be able to. They're already warmed up from playing the winners bracket, then the losers bracket finals, straight back to back. Mindfreak had a little bit of a break, but I guess we just really have to find out how they're going to open up with this uplink, and we'll stick on board with the Mindfreak up first. The Buzzin' right there, getting a couple of nades out over on the Atlas.
And we do see, of course, those first shots going out as well. And right now, these guys, obviously, from MF, want to try and grab on in there. But 3 of them get dropped. Buzzin' stays alive inside of school there at the time. The hands of that drone does get picked up by Izzy. He saw the player on the other side. It's Buzzin' on the other side of the wall here. Tries to pick up the kill. He'll do so. And now his teammates will try and run that drone as well. The escort will happen here, Mike, and they'll try and push through school if they can make their way out and around. A good pass, but at the wrong time. Shocks with the kill, then the beat down, and now drone in hand.
Yeah, and you're actually going to be having Shocks get taken down as well. The ball over back at this Atlas side. It is actually going to get picked up there by one, but thrown across the main street of this map on board with Dens. He does have that ball over to his left right there, but he's going to be waiting for someone to try and intercept that one. And he will be able to pick off 1 kill as he backs back off into the alley. Of course, the ball's going to be in the hands of Buzzin'. So going through this back alley, looking to maybe go over into this yellow side. The Mindfreak team are running with a little bit of a line order here. Den's going to be running that point, but he's actually going to hit in the back. Fate's going to be able to pick up that ball, and he's going to throw it out there, and that's going to reset it back over on the Atlas.
As you'll see right here, it's going to be Izzy inside. One player from Mindfreak, though, comes in, grabs it, and just hightails it out of there. They're still chasing him. It's been thrown around now. Fate will pick it up and go for that reset as these guys will get set up, ready for action again. I could not believe what one of those Mindfreak players just did. He snuck in there in front of Izzy. There goes the pass now over to Glass. The flag gets picked up. It was Fighter who was there a second beforehand as Izzy and Fate both have kill their own. The drone's still here, though. Shocks is right there, but he can't get far enough away. Chillians will stop him, and now with that in hand, they'll try and make a play through school, it would seem.
Yeah, he's going to be over on the car park right now. His teammates are just going to be running a little bit more of a point here. And, you're actually going to be having a couple of contests there. But the team of Exile5 are actually able to get, those kills that they needed. The ball's going to just bounce back. He's going to regenerate a little bit of health from that, getting that armor back for himself, Chillian. And he's going to try and now go into the score, trying to dodge it a little bit. And he actually did do a little bit of a good job. But then, can't run forever in that small alley. No. Got taken down, and the ball's now in the hands of Mindfreak once again. But we still have our scoreboard at 0-0 with 2 minutes already into this game. No points yet to be scored.
No, that's what you want to see in this sort of situation. As you say, that the first point falling is, but it's only a 1, which shows us how close this one is. They can't get close enough to go for the 2. They don't want to risk it. They want to get the first points on the board and push out from there. You, of course, see that drone have been reset inside the Atlas. It's been picked up by Fighter now. Fighter does go for that pass, gets thrown out and shut down, though, at the same time by Fate. Now the drone's just sitting there. It'll get reset in 8 seconds if no one can get hands on it. The first quarter of this uplink game has gone. Now we're into the second quarter here. 2.5 minutes left in the half, as both these teams want to increase their scores, but of course it is the MF team only on that point board right now at 1-0.
There's only 1 point, as you mentioned, but Buzzin' will get taken down there by Izzy. Dens will be able to take down 1 as Fate tries to go in for this ball run. 3 players from X5 have been taken down. The ball still on that main street. 9 seconds until, of course, it resets automatically, but Buzzin' will pick that ball up and will be running over onto this alley side. He's going to have his teammates there to play a little bit of support, getting those kills that they need over onto that glass and statue side, and Buzzin' should have a clear run for this 1.3. He's going to go for it again, and he will be able to get that one, making it 2-0.
He does. He did have Dens there sort of at the same time to help him, but they knew that because their teammate got picked up, he couldn't actually get it all the way down there for that 2 point. And again, it's a smart play, that some points are better than no points. So if they want to get their points 1 by 1 and get the lead that way like they have already, then that'll be okay. They can keep it that way. They can keep accumulating these single points. But Izzy wants to try. It looks like he's going for that single point there in the window here. He'll do that, and he'll get the point himself. Oh, I thought that was actually counted in, but it seems to perhaps been intercepted there as it was then reset. And just like that, it's going to be Mindfreak now trying to push back out to grab that drone.
It was a good throw, but unfortunately just wasn't able to get those points. Damage, though, is going to be having another crack at it. Once again, going through this school itself. Going to be now into lockers. He will have an open play to maybe make something happen. He's going to get stunned. He's going to go for this dash. And he gets denied shortly before he managed to get into that zone itself. And now it's going to be thrown outside of the map there by Fighter. No, it's still in play. He's going to be picked up by Buzzin'. Can Buzzin' throw it out? Does seem to be the case. Reset back now at the Atlas.
Yeah, they finally got it there. A few players from Exile5 were right around there challenging every single time it got picked up. Shocks trying to go over this wall, fails it twice, decides to push up into school instead and try and keep these guys guessing. His team at a Buzzin' was like a little bird there on its perch, waiting and watching from up high. You're going to have Shocks now, of course, here at the ambulance, looking to go for the single point throw. He'll do that. Will it go in? That is the question. It'll fall just shy short and go for the bounce. So just like that, Demons will go for the reset, and these guys will try and reform, regroup, and recalculate their positioning right now as it heads back in towards 30 seconds left here in the half.
we've really seen more throws go outside the map than we have to an actual capture zone. Whether they've got it or not, these teams are just playing that strong of a defense. No one's getting those opportunities that they need. The only two that have actually been there successfully is now a 2-point lead to the team of Mindfreak with 13 seconds remaining in the half. Fighter's going to be going for a last second play. He will be able to have enough time to go for this one. He goes for the throw. Does seem like it might be just short. Just veers a little bit to that right side.
And Dens was down there to try and help him with that escort then, but couldn't capitalise on it. So at the end of the half, it'll be 2-0 in favour of Mindfreak here. Of course, remember, it is a continuation series in place. They're already up 3-0 in the series, so they need 3 more to lock out this grand final, kick him out and be done with them. Of course, that Exile5 T1 team need to get back-to-back series in their favour, so it's a hard task to ask. And right now, a close game. I don't think I've ever seen a game so close during a half, 5 minutes in Detroit uplink. 2-0 between these two teams. Obviously, MF, they're struggling a little bit here because I usually see MF, especially in the half they were just on, at least get 6 to 7 points.
Yeah, and now that the decided to swap this up to T1 to really take that opportunity, it's a close game, 2 points, maybe if they can get a couple more points for themselves, but it is going to be Dens who gets that first touch. He'll get taken out shortly after that. Fate's going to be running straight through this main street, going to be going for this throwdown. Can they get their first points on the board? No, he will fall just short, and the ball over onto that statue's side. Unfortunately, now in the hands of Dens is going to be running through. Of course, they didn't want to go for that reset. Just going to be going through the long yards. Now looking over into this car park side. There's going to be Chills, though, into the score, picking off shocks. Now intercepting the ball carrier, but fortunately, he did have a Guardian Angel, and that Guardian Angel was Fighter.
Fighter, of course, is the escorter there inside of the school. As you mentioned, his Guardian Angel now just in the corner here, waiting for these guys to challenge him. 2 players there for Fighter. Dens picks up a third as well. They now grab that drone and try and hightail it straight up the street at the front door. Shock's trying to come on through. They picked up Chileans there. They've got 2 players on the defense side on the outskirts here. It should be a 2-point as he gets bumped on the way out, but still manages to jump up. And like that, they make it a 4-0 lead.
That they do, and of course you already see Dens and the team of Mindfreak just already picking up this ball, going in straight away for this schoolyard push, but they already know they need to delay it a little bit to get their setup down perfectly. A couple of their players did drop, so they're going to throw it out, reset it. Even though it was only a couple meters back, the time it took to reset is just allow the Mindfreak team to go for that respawn and try to set up. Unfortunately, not too successful for them. X5 have the ball. Chill's going to be going over through this basement, and he has a good opportunity to get their first points on the board. And he should be able to get it. There we go, 4-1 now.
Yeah, great strafing work by him and his teammates there to escort him in just those last little moments. Couldn't make the 2-pointer, but 1 point is enough to boost their confidence a little bit here, get their points on the scoreboard, and let them see that they are still alive in this one. 4-1, that scoreline, 3.5 on the clock still, as Dens again inside a score here. 2 players from X5 are then getting dropped, 2 from MF as well. Dens is going to try and go all alone here. Should be able to get it up and in. He will do so. Turns around, can't get the kill, but the damage is done with 6-1 that scoreline. 5 points the difference.
We are definitely seeing a more one-sided match in this second half than we did in the first half. The first half was only 2 points. Now with only 2 minutes into the second half, we're already seeing the scoreline become 6-1. However, X5 with the quick turnaround of the play, we're going to be having they can completely change things around, but Shocks seems to be determined to just shut them down. As
you see, Dens just scrolling past there with that drone in hand, gets another throw in there for another point on his team's board. It's now almost down to the final quarter. There's 10 seconds left before we head into that final 2 minutes 30 here on Uplink Detroit. 7-1 that scoreline right now. It does really seem that X5 are just struggling here in regards to this uplink side of things. They've done that a few throws, a few very close encounters right down to that portal, but they just can't get it to upload for them. And right like that, you'll just see again, MF shut them down. Dens now with that drone in hand. I'm surprised, and I was about to say, I'm surprised I haven't seen a slow reset yet. And like that you do, so it'll obviously sit on top of that car park for 10 seconds, then get downloaded again, and these guys will have to try and regroup and recontrol that middle part.
2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in this uplink. Detroit, Fate getting taken down the side. Mindfreak team trying to swarm in over onto that schoolyard. Unfortunately, not really working out for them. Fighter will get taken down as well. That was a nice play there by them, but you see Buzzin just going to be throwing it now on top of the hospital, just relying on these slow resets there of the satellite drone. And I mean, even though they're now picking up these kills, those slow resets, they don't need any more points. They're leading 7 points to 1, and they just need to buy as much time as they can.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. The clock is not against them. It is against that X5 team, and now Shocks with the drone in hand. He decides to go for a run. His teammates are all around there with that escort. 3-man push now up Main Street. There's one player there. They're going to clean him up easily. And just like that, 9-1 the scoreline becomes. Mindfreak almost securing their victory here in Uplink Detroit.
They're playing it smart, they're playing it skillful, and they're getting these points on the board. 9-1, leading by 8. Buzzin going to pick up the ball once again. Is now going to be over to throw it into the car park. 1 minute 15. It is going to be, of course, that reset time is just ticking on for the X5 team is really just putting those nails in coffin.
Yeah, it's definitely a mind game as well. Like X5, they're getting frustrated. They're like, we need to get their hands on that drone. It keeps going for the slow reset. Let's try and get a bit of map control. And by the time they do all this, again, Mindfreak got their hands on that drone and they're going for that slow reset. That being said, though, is a long haul here. He's going to go for that single throw instead. It will go in for the 1 point, so it will get them that extra part here. 50 seconds left as both these teams still fighting away. Buzzing, again, this is just a massive hit in the head for X5 right now, in my opinion. They're just going to be thinking, what can we do? We can't stop these guys from doing that slow reset. We can't get our hands on the drone long enough to make any big plays happen. We're pretty much out of this, and there was still like a minute and a half remaining at that time when that was all starting.
Now we have 30 seconds left. The score's still relatively the same. It's 9 points to 2. The ball is going to be reset, but now picked up there by Izzy. He's going to be trying to go in for another one here, and his teammates are there to support him, but he's going to go for the throw. Of course, he knows.
Oh,
but there it does get intercepted. There that was a nice play. Ball is still going to be over onto that glass side. Now thrown back over on the car park. It does seem like the satellite drone's favourite spot is on top of that car park.
It does indeed. Obviously, it seems to be its second home, in fact. And you'll see there, that 5 seconds left now. That will be game 1 in this grand final continuation series. Done and dusted, 9-2. The scoreline. Mindfreak aware of how good it was for them. They seem pretty relaxed, so to speak. You sort of wouldn't think that in a grand final, but a situation that these guys are in. We'll have a look at their scoreboard in a moment as well, but they just seem to be very relaxed, very chilled, and they know the confidence with them right now is just through the roof.
Yeah, and I mean, they're already 3-0 up. Now it's going to make it 4-0 up. We've got Search and Ensure Terrace for the next map, but they're really breezing through this matchup. I mean, we saw that from the winners bracket final. Their composure hasn't changed. They're playing in that exact same mindset. They don't want to let X5 take them out for the second time in a row. They know what they need to do, and X5 just don't seem like they're in it right now.
We'll find out during this next game what's going to happen, but obviously we do have the scoreboard then. Shocks on 30 and 22, 32 and 23 for Dens, Fighter then 18 and 28, 17 and 25 for Buzzin. So, scores that you're not used to seeing in sort of a situation like a 9-2 victory in an uplink. But look at that, you have 5 points there for Dens, 3 points for Shocks, and their slaying capacity as well really got that home, drove it home for them. Fighter and Buzzin sort of relaxed, I think, that game. They just had their own little thing. They were throwing it out, etc., stuff like that. I know you sort of leave yourself open when you're trying to reset the drone in that regards. And over to the side of things, again, I've mentioned it time and time again, Fate having great games, 32 and 27, but obviously no uplink points to him, so it wasn't enough to really help these guys out in the long run. 21-24 for Demings, Chillian's on 24 and 26, and then 19 and 20 for Izzy in that regards. But like you said, Mike, so S&D on Terrace for game, so to speak, number 5 in this series.
Yep.
It could be perhaps the second last game overall, as these guys will get set up and ready for the action pretty straight away. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Obviously, we saw a decider come out of this map earlier on in a best out of 5 series. We're going to find out now. Obviously, this is continuation from the original best out of 5 these two teams played in the winners bracket final. Yep. So they were always going to have to play S&D Terrace if it was going to come down to that. I feel right now just the overall confidence that Mindfreak have, they should be able to take this S&D out. But again, you can't count a team like T1 who picked up multiple S&D victories both here in Australia and overseas in LA last year to count out an S&D at all.
I mean, they've always shined on these map 5s. Now, that was a best of 5 series when they've always shined in that to take out the decider. Now it's where it matters the most. They're down in this huge scoreline, 4-0. It's a map 5. It still counts.
Oh, it does indeed. And these guys obviously want to. They both want it. They both want it. It depends on who wants it more.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to find out how X5 really are going to be looking at this situation. If they can play a good Terrace and they can come back, all it takes is one map to change that momentum around.
Well, of course, here in Australia, not many teams enjoy this map that much. It's a known fact for our teams. So I think it's still, like I said, X5 are capable of bringing any game mode back. It will be an S&D. And if they can get a first point on the board, they'll be very happy as we jump on in to find the action now. Kicking things off with Iskatu, also Izzy.
We're going to be seeing him with the bomb as well, the regular bomb carrier there for the team of Exile5. Once again, the A-bomb side is the most preferred here, but you're actually going to be seeing a nice attacking, aggressive play from the Exile5 members, of course, on the other side. Nice, nice nade there from Izzy to take down Shocks, bring the numbers advantage to them, but once again, Chillins did drop, so that's going to be a 3v3.
Yeah, great counter nade just then by Izzy. He saw that one get fired out. Oh, that one just bounced back at him. He did indeed. He's trying to hightail it out of there after a nice nade to begin with, almost killing himself to end it with. Right now, a 3v2 situation. One person is high and looking up from the top of the pool area, as is now Fighter in a 1v3 situation. situation. He's down at the bottom. Mute device wasn't engaged there for a moment beforehand. He's just going to head back and try and regroup and figure out where he needs to go from here. Obviously, using that bell, so the long shots do help him out in that regard, but he's got to keep an eye on 2 bomb sites here. It's a smart play to fall back to B, as many players do. Oh, turn around there, and Izzy can't get the second one, though. And the first round will go to the T1 team.
It's definitely a great effort there by them, and you notice that they're not really the hyped Exile5 that we know them to be, and they're still remaining composed there. They're not they're not down in the dumps. They're still taking it round by round, and they're able to take out the first round here in this Search and Destroy terrace. So all it takes is 1 round at a time, and they're doing just that. Yeah,
I've said plenty of times, is that high factor for the team. And once you hear him start, if they get I think 2 to 3 rounds, you should start here, is that going off and bringing that hype back out. But right now, just after that first uplink game, they're just not feeling it, I think, Meister. And that sort of might be dragging them a little bit, but it's definitely not showing after that first round.
Do you have Shocks with the bomb from the team of Mindfreak, once again pushing over to the safe side. That's going to be out. It was a very good nade there over onto that green side. Not too sure if he did see that play. Now he does anyway. We'll be able to pick off the kill there on Chills. Of course, with the help of his teammate Fight, nade going out over to that side of A, but one player's going to be over into the bedroom. Player's going to contest, and he does manage to take down Shocks. Will Fighter be able to actually claim that one? No, he's going to be buzzing. He's going to assist and take out the kill there on damage. And now the only player left up from X5 is Izzy in a 1v3 situation.
Checking the bomb site there, seeing if it was all clear. Doesn't seem like anyone is rotating around that. And again, the same thing that's happened to him. What happened to, I think it was right in that last round, they try and come down, check out the bomb site, try and clear it out, but you get 1 kill and then straight away the other teammate picks you up as you try and rotate to a different position. And it would seem now a 1-1 scoreline between these guys. As we look at that scoreboard, Chilean's yet to get any kills in this game, but it's only 2 rounds, so we'll even be for now. He's still plenty of rounds for him to get some kills in. But right now, in the attacking side of things again, these guys, they try to rotate around to B, and they end up picking the round out after a few kills. I think perhaps they'll have to just go down towards A, though, and try and get that bomb down quickly.
Well, we have to see if they can even get their attacking round again. I mean, we're going to be seeing Izzy with the bomb, with the Moore's variable zoom in his hands right now. But once again, his teammate's going to be playing a little bit more of an attacking play over through that middle side, over, of course, through the that top left side as well. Of course, the player rotating over. That was going to be Fate over onto that side. That actually does pick off Fighter. Bring the numbers to them. There's going to be one player there over into that outside of that bedroom. Shocks is going to be that exact play, but he jumps out of there, dodges that grenade, and manages to stay alive. Still a 4v3 situation. Though Fighter, the end player to get taken down.
So just look at that mini-map. I can see Buzzin in a bit of a firefight up there as well at the top area of the middle. And Buzzin does find Chileans there in that background. Is they still find one player in the front. Shocks with the beat down that time around, though. As you'll see now, damage up the middle part of that hotel. You'll see as well Fate. 2 players now remaining here for X5 up against Buzzin, or Buzzo, and Dens from this Mindfreak squad. Obviously, they're on that defensive side. You can see him just chilling back here for a moment. You'll then see damage now, however. Decides to have a bit of a peek and the poke, looking around. They've no bomb in hand for him. 30 seconds left on that clock. He's going to have to try and figure out what he can do. He has to go for these kills, because I think if he tries to boost around this map, it's going to be too loud. The enemy team will hear it, because he has no exile ability, it would seem. And just like that, this time is going to kick on down and play against him. But all the MF team needs to do is just wind that clock down. Here comes a nade, checking the bomb site. There's a double nade coming out. There's time still to plant it here. He decides to go for the gun battle instead. In a 1v2, may not have been the smartest of moves, and just like that, MF pick up a second round, 2-1.
Now watching both those bomb sites, so it really was the only option that he had left to take. And you see Dens, he was just waiting for it, he was checking that one. He then boosted the side. The second he knew that there was a player likely going to be there, he dashed. That reaction time, he picked off the kill, picked off the round, and that makes it 2-1.
So it's again coming around number 4 right now here. And of course, S&D Terrace game number 5 in this continuation grand final series here for the Asia Pacific Championship. Of course, both these teams want that title. They want to take out number 1 spot, even though they both have qualified for the finals in LA next month. But onto the attacking team we go once again, now with Shocks. He has the bomb in hand. Of course, his teammates rotating through them now, just to show you where they all are located on that mini-map. They'll be glowing yellow in regards to the ones we highlight. And you do see as well, Fighter is trying to go for that long bank shot nade. One player he does see back there, goes it for it again. He should see that coming though, that nade. He does duck on down, old Fate, thanks to that copy, and we see who it is. Again, Shocks is going to challenge down here at the bomb site. 2 players on the enemy team are there in front of him. He picks up one, nades come on in. They won't find him though. Now 2 players gone from X5.
There's going to be Shocks rotating around, trying to stay for his team. Of course, only 2 players, as you mentioned, from X5. It's going to be Fate and Izzy. And if we can bring up the map as well, I mean, you're going to be seeing the players, the rotations there from the 2 players left alive. One's going to be looking around from over that left side, as we can see on our screen, from the right player. Going to be doing a little bit of a slow rotation as well. So he's going to be possibly contested from one of the players from Mindfreak. You see Buzzin, he spots him. There you go. He's able to take down the kill. So Fate's the last one alive, swapping over to him. He will be over into this middle side of the map, about to run into 1 though, and this could be a critical point here on the head glitch. and it still seems like both of them walked away with their lives.
Yeah, he does indeed. He directly takes on that one at the same time. He does it that IMR, so the burst. He wants to try and utilise there. Again, takes on another player. They could have challenged him and come in from above just then with that stomp. Probably would have killed him, but he wasn't too aware what he should do. Turns around here, gets the kill there on Shox, who was taking a bit too long to get that kill of his own. But again, the teammates come in at the time they needed to and pick up the kills for him. 3-1 the scoreline becomes now after 4 rounds gone.
Yeah, and I mean, you see this round in the kill cam here by Denzel, just able to go on up. His teammate may have died, but he was able to just get the shots that he needed, clean it up. And he didn't make the mistake of allowing X5 to go for that clutch.
Well, he didn't. You know, looking at that scoreboard as well, Fighter not having the best of games either. 1-4 for him. And like we said before, it's now up to round number 5. Chilean still yet to get a kill here. So perhaps if he can come out of his shell a little bit and grab a couple of kills, he'll be able to help that team get a few extra rounds here.
I have to see maybe if they can turn it around this round as well. I mean, it's going to be Fate once again over into this middle side of the map, being able to take down Fighter. Fighter's now going to become 1-5 at the end of that as well. He's there with this bomb. You got Chileans over onto this purple side. It will be able to take down Buzzin as well. So a nice opening start to the rounds for them, and one that we really haven't seen since the first round that they did take. Shock's going to be the last one alive for a moment. Now getting taken down.
And it's like that. The team of Exile5 T1 do pick up a round again now for themselves, and that is now 5 rounds gone, but the scoreline becomes 3-2 now instead of what it could have been 4-1, obviously, in favour of the MF squad at that time. Look at Fate having a massive game there, 7-3 already, even though they've only got 2 rounds. Again, you know, we've hit it, I've said it so many times. He is just playing very well at this event, obviously, for that team of X5, and we'll see him again off the defensive side, so we'll change it over to the attacking team here. Again, Mindfreak will try and push out, and Shox just lands on his teammate head that bounces off like it was nothing.
I mean, it would have been hilarious if he actually got that friendly fire kill as well, but he's actually going to spot one there over onto that top pool side, and then he's going to be going out. Will he be able to get the tags? No, he won't be. He's going to be cooking that second one. Buzzin was able to get a pick off early. You're actually going to be seeing Buzzin, I do believe, actually going for that rotation, pushing a little bit more aggressively there, as you do have Shox now. Dan's being able to pick off a huge double kill, leaving Izzy to be the last one alive, and not for too much longer. That's 4-2 now. Mindfreak in the lead.
Doesn't last long when it seems the Mindfreak start getting the rolling in the round. It just seems the kills seem to line up for him and go in their favour. Just like that, you saw Dance with that 2-piece beforehand, then Buzzin picks up 2 that round as well. And that'll be the round ended for that one. So round 6 now gone, coming to round number 7. Of course, still possible for this T1 team to get a few rounds for themselves on their attacking side of here. I think maybe a quick push to A and just get their bomb down straight away. You know, they keep going to A, but they don't just go for that quick blind. I haven't seen that many nades from MF hit very quickly down there. They tend to just delay the nades a bit, and as I say all this, he pretty much does what I want him to do, but he doesn't go straight for that plant. He decides just to push through and be a bit more aggressive. But you see players back there. Chilean's up the top there being aggressive as well. Picks that one on Fighter, being dropped afterwards there by Shox, however. Becomes now a 3v3. Fate is in damage up against Buzzin, Dans, and Shox. Let's say that now becomes a 3v2 and now a 2v2 thanks to Izzy tying things up.
He's going to have one right now. He's going to have one right next to him. They actually thought it was a teammate for a moment because he didn't really react to it. But now it goes back, and they're having a little bit of a gunfight here, dashing around as well. Izzy, I do believe, taking on Buzzin. He's still going to be searching for him. I do believe he might have just then. He did. He's just going to be waiting out. He doesn't want to really contest and risk his life. He wants to make sure he can 100% get that kill and make it a benefit there to his team. But it is going to be Izzy in damage, taking on Buzzo and Dents.
Yeah, I feel that should have been just a straight to B push for Izzy and then put that bomb straight away down. Obviously, he has his teammate of damage there alive with him who was around that area too. So now that time's ticking on down. So they've lost that bit of an area or a gap that they had a chance for to do that. It's allowed now, of course, Buzzin to pretty much rotate around this map and keep an eye on things. You'll see here, we're on board with him as that was thanks to CoD vision. We see where the bomb carrier is of Izzy. We see where his teammate is right in front of us there. Buzzin tried to challenge there, now gets picked up though. Now Denz is in a 1v2. Out goes a nade, tries to get it. He will get a tag on there, but won't be the kill, and he has no more nades to do so with that. So just like that, the bomb does go down, 40 seconds left, and there is another round for the T1 squad to stay alive in the S&D.
Yeah, and stay alive is really the appropriate word for this one, because they're trekking in there one round at a time, and they're always a round down, but they're always needing to catch up from being 2 rounds down. So they just need another consecutive round to be able to tie up the overall scoreline. I mean, they've still got plenty of rounds left. It is going to be entering into round 9. Or round 8 coming up next. So it's going to be a tricky one for them, but they need to make sure they can get one on both sides consecutively, type the scoreline before Mindfreak get to that 5th round that they need.
I'm going to try and give Fighter a bit of luck here. He's currently going 1-6. He needs a few more kills. He usually does spot players up and around, but he just can't connect and finish up and clean that kill out. So hopefully he'll be able to do that now. as I give him a bit of luck, perhaps, or a bit of bad luck, as it tends to be when you are a codcaster and watching anyone, or switch over to their point of view. But right now, him and his team are Shocks looking to get this bomb down here at A, perhaps in a moment. Just got to keep an eye out for a few players around the area. As Shocks does push up to check in bedroom. Funads come in now just to test the waters. Buzzin does find Izzy in the background, however, making it now a 4v3 situation here with 55 on the clock.
He's going to be chilling there over into the bedroom there to maybe contest Shocks. He does get a couple of shots out of Shocks there, but he did get tagged in return. Still now a 4v3 situation as Izzy now makes that fate, and Chileans gets taken down. Damage going to be the last one alive for Exile5 T1 Daughters. He's going to be looking for this kill. He knows approximately where they might be going, but let's see, Mindfreak might be changing it up.
Yeah, he's realised that now. You heard them doing the jumps, doing the boosting, and he heard that they were making a move from A across to B. He's going to try and counter that now, as he's got to a double fake, it would seem. Great work here by the MF team, and it's going to just keep Damage wondering what is going on. You'll see here right now, 15 seconds left on that clock. He's over here at B. No one's to be found. The bomb's getting planted back at A, mate. So we have to make that long haul back across the map and try and come and find these two players that are still alive. So, you know, it's a smart push by him to go over to B, realising that he did hear them going there. But a great work by Mindfreak to come back across here. 35 on the clock.
It's actually going to have Buzzin there on that head glitch, and Buzzin was able to take out the kill. Didn't even notice he was there, and Buzzin doing a nice job at that one. But you mentioned actually the double fakie that was actually earlier. I mean, actually have seen a lot of those come out and play here in today in this competition, and a lot of teams been doing it perfectly. I don't think I've seen one that's actually failed throughout the day.
Well, it's good to see that obviously teams trying to mix it up and keep the other team guessing, obviously, because these guys have scrimmed so much against each other. So you've got to obviously keep a couple of little strategies to yourself when it comes down to these sort of competitions, because you can't just use every little trick in the book that you might have. This is what you want to see, a nice push here coming out. He decides to slow it down instead, though. Could have kept going. Fighter starts the round off nicely to pick up one on Shillian's fate, then get dropped by Dens as well. It's now a 2v4 here, perhaps the last round in this S&D on Terrace. Damage and Izzy both still up and alive. One person pushes up. There's Shocks. There's Fighter. Buzzin, sorry, to push on in and challenge as well. Damage down to 1v3. He's going to either go for that bomb, go for the kills, or go for both and all. As you will see, Buzzin, Dens, and Fighter all still alive right now for the Mindfreak squad. Like I said, that 3v1 situation, the odds are against Damage here, but he is going good for his team, 7-5. So if anyone's going to do it right now, it's going to be him in regards to his KD overall. He is going strong. You do see players around, thanks to CoD Vision, where they are. We might just turn it off here, Mikester, just so we get the idea of what it's like to be in his head right now and where these players are going to push from. Just like that, as I do that, the shot to the left-hand side, and Mindfreak secure themselves a 5-0 series lead in this series.
I bet this is the lead that they wanted to have last year. Now they're making it a reality this year. 5-0. They are one map away from becoming your APAC Champions for 2015. And I think that's a title that they've really been wanted for a while. And, I mean, Exile5, they still have that opportunity to come back.
Buzzin 11-3 in that S&D alone. Shocks 5-7, 8-4 then for Dens, and then Fighter on 4-7. Then those are the Exile5 team. You do have 7-7 for Fate. Damage on 7-6, 5-7 for Izzy, and Chileans on 2-8. So a bit of a struggle there, like we said. But hard point on Biolab next up, Mikester. Could be the last game in the series. Could perhaps be the beginning of some change. Can you hear any wind? Can you hear the winds of change blowing through it all?
I don't think so. I think they're all silent now.
No draft in here.
I don't think there is at the moment. But that being said, we love being proven wrong. They always seem to do it as well. So maybe. We'll see.
I think casters are the only men that like be proven wrong.
I think they're the only ones who actually do get proven wrong in the end.
Time and time again. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to a quick short little break. Won't be long now for perhaps the final game in this grand final series between the teams of Plantronics Mindfreak and the other team, obviously, of Exile5 T1. Welcome back to the grand final matchup here at the Call of Duty Championship Asia Pacific matchup live in Sydney, Australia, presented by Xbox. Right now, we do have that team of Mindfreak 5-0 up in this series, up against that Exile5 T1 team. They're struggling right now, and they're coming up into a hard point on Biolab. We're both sort of feeling that, you know, the mindsets aren't there, the hype isn't there for the T1 team. MF just feeling this is locked in the bag. It's going to be a 6-0 win to them.
It is going to be a hard point Biolab, though, and I mean, if they can get the hype back, if they can get Izay hyped up, Chilean's hyped up, I can see Exile5 coming back, taking the long yard, taking those 6 maps, and you know, maybe making something happen. But if the hype isn't there, you know one thing as a 100% fact, that T1 just don't perform unless they have those hype players being hyped up.
It seems to be showing that exactly, that the statement being true, obviously, like we said. You know, you're not hearing the hype, you're not hearing them yell out and be pumped up for any plays they're making, and it's just showing in regards to the scoreboard, in regards to their KDs, in regards to the series and every single map that these guys are playing. So right now, this could be the final map being played here in this grand final at this qualifier. Obviously, these teams are both qualified, but they still want that title. And like Buzzin said, not 2 years in a row.
Yeah, definitely not. And I mean, hardpoint Biolab, as you mentioned, this could be the final 10 minutes of this actual competition of this day. And how do you feel about that?
I feel pumped. Obviously, I want these guys just to give us their all in these final 10 minutes, perhaps the final 10 minutes. Obviously, with this Mindfreak team, they want to try and lock this one down, secure themselves that victory, and secure themselves $6,000 for first place. Obviously, second place still a great achievement, and $3,000 for them too. Look at that to start things off. It is going to be Mindfreak in that first hill, with Shocks controlling it down, finally being contested now by Izay.
It is going to be Izay who's going to be contested there by Dens. Dens going to have a couple of players there. If we can turn on CoD vision as well, you'll be able to see these players push on through. But it is going to be the Mindfreak team who's going to have control of that Ice and Biolab side. So there's only one angle to contest from. That's going to be from Green. He's actually going to be seeing X5 trying to contest that with all their might. It's actually going to be Chileans who picks off a double kill, including his teammate Damage, and Chileans still picking off more kills there. Dens, though, will be off the spawn to break in, get that control. And I mean, look at that scoreboard, 22 points and counting to only 1 point from X5.
Yeah, you obviously Mindfreak with that control at this time, being players trying to push in and contest it as best they can. 10 seconds left on the current hill before it will rotate. And right now, those final points, Buzzin steps in to get the last little scraps while his team push out and try and set up for the next one. But 3 players getting dropped thanks to Fate with that 2-piece, and allowing them for the X5 team to set up here and try and answer back with this 37 to 4 point game.
And of course, this next hard point is over onto the red stairs. They've got players over on Snow. They've got players watching through the stairs over into red as well. And, you know, they need to really be careful over onto this Snow side, because the players from Mindfreak have pushed over through that angle. And look at that. They were just able to send 3 players there, push it with numbers, being able to get those kills that they needed. And now it's currently contested. Shocks, though, will fall defeated. So Fate will still be able to keep control for the moment. Turns around, takes down a double kill. Nicely down, but a nade will eventually take it down.
There is a bit of pump and a bit of yelling back there by that X5 team. And that's what you want to hear from them. You need them to get pumped up. You need them to get agitated in regards to helping their team, supporting their team, and just changing that mindset that they might perhaps already be in. Shocks, however, from that Mindfreak squad inside of here, controlling and locking it down. A 20-point lead the Mindfreak team have, and counting now. 10 seconds left, and again, Buzzin, he's the scrap cleanup crew, it would seem, coming in those last moments, getting the last little points, while again, the teams rotate around and try and set up a blue.
That they are. I mean, you already have the contests over at blue as well. It is going to be Fighter getting taken down to X5 once again. Have that early control of this hard point, and they are catching back up. I mean, you see it now rotated there. They've got those 2 players in that hard point. 1 player watching through the side as well. The other player going to be over onto 5 itself. Player's going to be coming through the alley side though. Shocks and Buzzin pick off kills there using the help of grenades and other various explosives. Damage does get taken down. The Shocks finally gets shut down there. Fate being able to pick off a nice double kill, but Fate just couldn't get taken down, so his teammate had to help him out.
Yeah, you know, he had to help the Dens out pretty much in that regard. The enemy team picking up that team kill there. Damage now pushes on inside to a boxes. He gets taken down very quickly, however. We're still a 20-point lead. It is getting close and closer to being closed out, though, with this X5 team. They are trying to wiggle their way back into this one, and they are still alive. Obviously, you do see that scoreline decreasing second by second in this hill. The stop comes out from Izay, can't connect on it. Fighter pushes on in. And look at those in regards to the KDs as well, Mike's the Buzzin. He's in there for scrap time, but usually more of a Slayer role as well. He's 3 and 6.
Yeah, and you know, it's not looking too hot for him, but his team's still going to be able to just keeping that going for him. I mean, 13 to 10 for Dens, Fighter on 12 and 11, and 9 to 10 there for Shock. So they're still picking up their kills in that regard, and they're picking up those captures as well, which is really the most important part here in this hard point. And that scoreline is going to be 74 points, 251, still in the lead for them, 6 minutes 50 on the clock.
You can see Fighter here, that Hill had already rotated here, and he just sat there on the left-hand side, wait for his teammates to come here. He didn't want the enemy team to know that he was there. He waited for them to challenge for it, picks up 1 kill, picks up a second there now, and looking for a third if he can achieve it. That stomp was about to come down. The boot was about to drop, but he managed to pick up the kill in the process on Izzy, who loves to come on down hard at some of these guys. You will, of course, now see Dens, who's in that corner waiting and watching. Shox and Fighter both in the hard point now. They know someone's around there. Buzzin decides to come on in for a bit of a challenge now and try and get a couple of kills, but can't. Fate making short work out of him.
Fighter on a 5 streak right now. Make that 6. He's looking to make a 7th play. He's currently over into that green side. He's going straight to contest them off the spawn, and he's getting these assists as well. He's just jumping up and everywhere. That was 4 assists in a row.
That was. He's 18 and 11 with 6 kill streak, 6 caps to his name. Fighter having a very great game at the moment. 100 points to 54 right now. And remember, we saw these guys earlier on during the winners bracket final play it out on that hardpoint and retreat, and you know, it was a one-sided game. Right now, though, X5 very much staying closer, keeping it within a grasp right now as it does rotate again. You do see Shox and Fighter now in the hill.
And I mean, with over at this Biolab side, it's only those two that need to be in that hardpoint. The rest of the team are going to be going for these kills over onto that snow side, of course, over onto that green side as well. And no one's really trying to be able to, no one can contest from the X1 team, X5 team. Because they're just not getting an opportunity to even progress over into orange, into ice, into snow, into purple. They're getting killed before they can reach those stages.
Yeah, you see that 60-point lead and counting now for Mindfreak up against this T1 squad. And right now that middle hill is doing what it needs to be done for them. They are holding it down. They had a lock for a lot. You know, not much contention of what you usually expect on that Biolab hill. You usually have players pushing in from the 4 options they can come in from and contesting it a lot more often. Now, of course, you do see that hill will rotate in 2 seconds from now. The Mindfreak team already getting set up and ready for that reset. And you will, of course, now see damage inside the hill. His teammates out watching and around. Chillians is there with him as well, just to try and lock this one down and again close that gap.
Chillians and damage there into this hardpoint. Damage actually just began his rotation out of there to try and maybe pick up these kills as well. So now it's just going to be Dens in the hardpoint itself. Shox is going to be bouncing in and out of there. One player's going to be contesting through this ice side, now through 5 as well. 2 players in there. He's going to still stay alive somehow, but now 3 players from X5 are currently located in this 5 hardpoint. Now remember, with 4.5 minutes still on the clock, 143 to 92 and counting, there's plenty of time for them to answer back in this second set of rotations.
Yeah, we do change over to damage. Damage inside there with that beat down Chillians as well, and there's a nice sort of clean-up kill on Fighter to kick things off. Of course, 143 to 100 points now, Mike does. So a 40-point game, and they're still closing that one down. Still 4 minutes left, so it's still able to do so. It's still mathematically possible, as we do like to say. Buzzin comes in to get those scrap times he loves to do. Gives up with 2 seconds left. Decides to rotate now because his team aren't really set up, and out on snow, the whole of X5 are there.
You see the yellow being dropped down as well to provide a little bit of extra cover. Chillians does get taken down before he can reach the red stairs, and there's going to be Shox and Dens who are there to try and hold it. 1 on the snow side, 1 on the actual red stairs angle, and the players have been coming out from this green side as well as through the snow stairs, and you already see the X5 team get control of that hard point. And that's what they needed. I mean, Mindfreak got a little bit of hill time off it, but they aren't able to really get that majority time. With 33 seconds left, it's currently still rotating.
158 to 111, like you said, 3.5 minutes left, 30 seconds left on this hard point as Fighter decides to get in there for a bit of time. Buzzin has picked up his game, we'll mention that, 18 and 5 now. He was, like we said, that Slayer roll just jumps over the head of all the players below him, decides to go off for the roof and try and come in from the skylight like Batman, but doesn't seem to be the case. You will now see, obviously, Shox in that hill. He was trying to hold it down for as best he could. Izzy and Buzzin both challenging each other. Buzzin comes out the fair off after that exchange, and we do see the scoreline become 167 to 120. So again, a lead starts to increase. The hill will rotate now, and it's going to be X5 who are set up and getting those first points.
3 minutes, 3 hard points remaining here over onto the blue side already, though. You do have X5 once again in control of the initial stage of this hard point. Fate doing a nice work picking up 1, but Chillians getting a double kill using those gas containers to his advantage. And he's going to be coming in, but not being able to connect to anyone due to where Fate is located here on the top of those crates. The Mindfreak team, though, going to still be contesting, but he's going to be Chillians to shut him down, but not from Shox, it seems, who decides to go in through the other side doorway, just taking them all by surprise.
They're all coming in every which way they can find an entrance to that hill, and all players are charging at the same time. Poor old Buzzin, he's gone for the reload 3 times just then, and he kept getting shut down at the same point. Right now, Fate inside this hill. It's a 20-point game right now, Mike. So 2 minutes left. Like you said, 2 hard points to still come out of this rotation as well. And right now, it's very much going to be right down to the wire, it would seem, between these 2 great teams.
And this is the X5 that we were talking about earlier. The team that just stays in there. The teams that are always able to keep it in contention. And right now, over onto this green side, we did have 2 players from X5 to get kills there. And now they're going to try and contest Shox onto this hard point. Shox does a smart move, though. He dashes to the side, onto the side of green, where he gets out of the hard point. Players don't know where he is. He was able to pick up the kill, but then got taken down. Dens, though, should have died there by Fate.
Yeah, so many times you have that happen to yourself playing, and even you see it all the time. They put those shots in, they think that the damage is done for enough for that kill. Doesn't connect there, it's not the case. And right now it's a minute and a half remaining. It's 179 to 165. Still time enough to come back and tie this one and get the lead for X5 as they do have hill control right now. 25 seconds remaining here on this current hill. There's still a minute 15 in the game, no Mikester, as we see a 13-point game, a minute 10 on the clock, and with 20 seconds left on this current hill. It would seem Exile5 are going to hold this one down as best they can. Chileans does get picked up. Fighter, Dens, and Buzzard all push in at the same time to get those last points, and then they try and get set up with Fighter, lone and wholesome in that middle hill.
It's all to be decided here onto the Biolab hardpoint, 193 to 173 right now as they do get a couple of shots in. It is going to be Dens here, picking off the kill there on Izzo before getting shut down there by damage. Fate will be able to take that one to actually make that damage, picking off a double kill. Chileans gets another. Buzzard gets a double kill. The kill feed is just lighting on up here between blue and red. The shouts are coming out from the players as well, but it is looking like it's Mindfreak able to hit that 200-point mark first with 30 seconds remaining.
These guys in there, and this is the most contested hill on hardpoint Biolab, and they all knew that going into this one right there. 19 seconds is the scoreline difference. They can't break the congestion. That is going to be it. Mindfreak do take it out. 15 seconds still to go. The T1 guys are aware of it. They know, or I believe they all know by now, that they can't come back, but they're still going to play. They're still going to finish this map out. They're not going to stop, as will Mindfreak. They'll wrap this one up, and they'll find out who will finish up better off in regards to scores. They're just going to tap those KDs, so to speak. 39 kills for Fighter. I think I saw 206 to 182. Mindfreak Plantronics are your Call of Duty Asia Pacific champions here for 2015.
Making it 2 out of 3 as well over the last 3 years. Finally taking that place on the top of this region. It got rubbed in a little bit last year when they did lose that title, but they've got it back. They're back on top, and they couldn't be happier.
Yeah, obviously they will be very happy with that. Like Buzzin said, not 2 years in a row, not going to happen. At the same time, a 6-0 grand final to that team. Obviously they did not lose any series at all this whole day. They stayed in that winners bracket, pushed all the way through, kept on going, and look at that, over those KDs, like we said before. Fighter 39 and 36, he finished up with 32 and 35 for Den. Shoxen 34 and 35, Buzzard on 30 and 25, then over to X5s as well. 36 and 31 for Demi, Chileans on 39 and 39 breaking even, 25 and 33 for Izze, and then Fate 31 and 35. That's probably the first time I've seen Fate bottom scoring for that team all day long. So a solid and great effort right now. However, Mike, still we do have the guy, the man in Maniac set up with the team of Plantronics. There will be a short interview soon, but what a grand final that was. I sort of felt that a lot of people want to see it go to a game 11 all the time. You want to see it just come out of nowhere, the fairy tale story, etc. At the same time, Mindfreak were having none of that tonight.
They really weren't. They just wanted to take out the clean sweep and just put their place back on top that much sweater. But taking away the grand final, how good of a day was this entire APAC regional finals?
It was an amazing day altogether. Obviously, Mindfreak are now $6,000 richer.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
That said, though, you do have to give the props to that Exile5 T1 team. They're also $3,000 richer, coming in second. And like we said, third place did pick up the $2,000, which was, of course, the Integral Nations squad. So all the teams competed today, obviously getting prize money. They're your top 3, though. They're the 3 teams that will push on through and go to LA next month to compete on the world stage with the best teams from around the world to find out what they're truly made of. And obviously, Mike, what a story it's been. Like I had a dream prediction, and it was these 3 teams that came out of it. Yep. So clearly, my dreams do come true. But like we said before, we do have the man of a maniac set up, ready for an interview with our grand final champions of Mindfreak.
Thank you very much, Bioacid. I am here indeed with the Call of Duty Championship Asia Pacific Regional Final Champions. I'm with Mindfreak. We are definitely going to be getting into the celebrations in just a moment. The guys out in the audience already giving us a round of applause. I just want to touch base with these guys. They look so calm and collected. We've talked to Buzzo a lot, the captain of Mindfreak. I'm going to jump over here to Fighter now. Of course, we've seen a few times. It's been communicated throughout social media and obviously other teams and fans. You couldn't make it last year due to age restrictions. Now you're here with your call lineup. You've got Dens added. What are your feelings? You guys just took it out in a 6-0 sweep.
Oh, I'm feeling amazing after that 6-0 sweep. Didn't drop a map, which is really good. So I don't know what to say. Hey, I'm pretty speechless.
We're really excited for you guys. Now, you were very modest and humble in our last chat, Buzzo. Now we're up here. I'm talking to you for the 3rd or 4th time now. We go way back now. You've just taken out the championship, 6-0 sweep. You're so calm and collected. Tell me, let us in, Buzzo. Let us in, man. How are you feeling right now?
I know, pretty amazing, but we've got one job to do, and that's play good over there. Like, to be honest, this matters, but that's the main goal, is playing good over in LA and trying to outplace, of course, this guy here coming 5th last year, and of course T1. But that's what we really want to do well in, is just over there and show them what we got.
All right, so you guys, you can just keep your focus all the way to LA. But for now, we do have, of course, our presentation here to give you the APAC Champions trophy as ACL CEO, Nick Vanzetti. Guys, please give it up one more time for your Call of Duty Championship Asia Pacific Regional Final Champions, Mindfreak.